If you want more money, don't ask for a pay rise. Get a new job. The reality is you probably won't get a pay rise every year. The average pay rise in the UK is 3%, and that's considered generous, whereas you could get a 10% rise if you just go for a higher paying job. Asking for a pay rise may seem like the most straightforward way to increase your income, but the reality is that many companies don't offer annual raises. In fact, a study by Total Jobs found that 62% of UK employees did not receive a pay rise in 2020. Even if you do receive a raise, it may not keep up with inflation, meaning that you're actually losing money over time. So, what's the alternative? Instead of asking for a pay rise, consider negotiating other benefits like more time off or flexible working arrangements. These can be just as valuable as a raise and can significantly improve your work-life balance. Plus, it can be easier for your employer to grant, simply because it doesn't affect the budget, meaning that you're more likely to get a positive response. In fact, research by LinkedIn found that 67% of UK professionals would choose more flexibility over a pay rise. You could take on additional responsibilities or projects that will help you develop new skills and make you more valuable to your employer. This can lead to promotions or opportunities for career advancement, which could ultimately then lead to higher pay. To be honest, it's a win-win situation because you'll become more desirable whether you stay with your company or not and command more money. Okay, so you don't fancy that and it's the cash that you're after. I totally get that. While the price of everything's going up, you want your pay to cover that. Time to get a new job then. Moving to a new company can sometimes result in a significant increase in salary, sometimes even double what you're currently making. So now, when you think about that 3% increase, wouldn't 50% be a lot more attractive to you? Plus, it gives you the opportunity to learn new skills, expand your network, and experience a new work environment. Have a look online and see what your natural progression would be for whatever job you do. You could take online courses for skill sets that you're lacking in, which will show initiative. Have a look at places like Glassdoor for the average salary. Extensively Google the position that you're going for to compare companies and make sure that you're pitching yourself at the right wage level. Don't be afraid to go for slightly higher than the average salary. Be confident and know your worth. It can seem like a big step, but it stops you tiptoeing up the pay ladder and is a bigger leap. It can also take a while to get recognised for all of your skills when you stay at the same place, and you may get overlooked for promotions. This way, you start a new job and set a new precedent in both your abilities and your wages. Research by the Resolution Foundation found that millennials in the UK are more likely to switch jobs than any other age group, with 13% of workers aged between 22 and 30 changing jobs in 2019. However, switching jobs can come with risks such as uncertainty around job security and potential disruption to your work-life balance. Although, in all honesty, how much job security does anybody have? Most of the jobs that I've ever had have come with a bit of risk and also a shelf life. Knowing when to switch jobs can be tricky. If you're unhappy in your current role, it's an easier decision and time to start looking for a change. However, be careful not to leave too soon. Have another job lined up to go to and don't settle for anything that you don't think you'll enjoy. Short stints at multiple jobs can raise red flags for potential employers. If you do leave a job quickly, consider excluding it from your CV or moving the start date to make it look like you've been there for a bit longer. It's also important to consider the impact of a job switch on your finances. Switching jobs can mean a gap in income, as well as potential costs for things like commuting or maybe relocation. Make sure to research potential employers thoroughly and to negotiate your salary and benefits before accepting a job offer. My best personal leap was when I was earning an average wage in London, and if I'm really honest, I was financially struggling every month. Then I got myself an £8,000 pay rise by switching jobs. I moved back up north to Sheffield and my rent was so much cheaper, my bills were low and I climbed out of my £3,000 overdraft. That leap wouldn't have happened if I'd have stayed in the same job. I also wouldn't have been able to pay my debt off. Another option is to get a few side hustles running alongside your full-time job. Create your own pay rise. I've got a few on the go myself, and you know what? It's great to have a financial safety net just running along in the background so that if you do ever lose your job, you know that you've still got some money coming in. I know people who started on their own side hustles, which then took over their career, so now they've taken control of their future and know that every bit of work that they do is lining their own pockets and not a company that they work for. So there you have it. Why asking for a pay rise might not be the best option, and some alternatives to consider. Remember, it's important to value your time and skills, but it's also important to be realistic about what your employer can offer. If you're considering switching jobs, make sure that you do your research and weigh up the pros and cons. At the end of the day, it's all about finding a balance and a wage that works for you.